What is going on, folks? It's Dr. Remy LeBeau, and I'm coming at you once again from the X-Lair to provide you my deep and insightful thoughts into a certain show. Just dropped its first 3 episodes. I've only seen episode 1 so far. It has surpassed my expectations. You don't expect something to be great because there's just so much disappointment in this world. You love something, it's very unlikely that it will continue to be great if it is great at any point. And that's really been a lot of what's been going on with the X-Men in general, the films, the comics, ever since, if you know, the Krakoan era. I had to stop reading because it was just a big disappointment to me. And I don't want to get into all of that because I've already gotten into all of it. If you're watching this on my channel, check out a couple of my last videos. I'm very clear about what is wrong with the current X-Men status quo in the comics. Also, with this show, we had a great season 1, but obviously there was a shakeup in the production team. So there were concerns that maybe things were not going to be as good. Now, I've only seen 1 episode, so I can't say for the whole season if it's going to be great or not. I have faith that it will be, especially after seeing this one. But we will see about that. But nonetheless, episode 1, fantastic. Starts out with Bishop and Forge. Forge, of course, figured out how to create a time machine, and they're split up, right? So now we're focusing on the future.
Something, someone yanked our friends through time.
It turns out that Mother Askani, Rachel Summers, is the person that brought them into the future. My goodness, did the future look amazing. What I really loved about this episode is that there were a lot of elements that we saw in the original cartoon and also in the comics where things were not necessarily explained properly, or like the pieces didn't come together clearly. And in this episode, it like pretty much cleared up the origin of Cable in the future, you know, the role of his parents in that origin, the role of Mother Askani, who, spoilers, is his sister Rachel Summers from a different timeline. Her role in him ascending and like the connection to Apocalypse. We saw Apocalypse in the future. He looked fantastic. We saw Ozymandias that we saw in the comics during the Joe Mad era, clearly playing an important role. Apocalypse also has 4 horsemen that we've never seen before, unless I'm wrong about that. But I've personally never seen these before. And we saw like more of like Apocalypse's sort of reign in that future. That opening scene, you know, we saw Apocalypse's like lair, and we're like kind of with the camera kind of traveling through it, and there was a point where like it's going up a building and you see a bunch of arms coming out of the building, which is like terrifying. It really kind of solidified like the horror that Apocalypse can ultimately bring upon the world. I love seeing like Wolverine morph, Storm, Jean and Scott in the future. That was fantastic. They all look so good. Jean and Scott are wearing like a post-apocalyptic version of their original X-Factor costumes, which is really cool. Wolverine, in the comics, when he lost his adamantium, he could barely think clearly. He was just like all fury. And he kind of looked here. He had the bandana and he had the bone claws. So I like that they kind of did an homage to that. And I love this whole like elevating Storm to a higher level with her power, that she could control the solar flares.
Flames of the sun, source of all creation, I summon a tempest of fire and light, whose flares ignite the spark of hope in darkness.
I mean, she's one of the most powerful mutants, period, if not one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. So I love that they highlighted that, and it was so poetic and beautiful the way they did it too. I love when Forge got into the future and it was like immediately him and Storm kiss. Like, I have been in love with Storm and Forge ever since the 90s. It's such a wonderful relationship that was just abandoned by the writers at some point. Look, guys, I'm beyond happy with this show so far. I'm gonna go sit down and watch the rest of it right now. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, follow me on my social medias. And as always, I want to remind you that if you have not already, you better put an X in the box, because ain't nobody checking this, baby. Ain't nobody checking this. See you soon.